This is Commander Shepard. Welcome to Robofet's Bounty.
You will learn the real truth about how 4 ordinary household pets became wisecracking amphibians. Pizza-loving amphibians. Amphibians. Amphibians.
Terminator!
I'm back. Got to find John Connor.
But evil T-1000 gets to him first!
Hey, back off!
Terminator's heavy metal cycle zeroes in and fires! But T-1000 stands to get even!
This is for getting on my bad side. You're next, John Connor.
I'm back.
Terminator deploys his secret weapon.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Terminated!
This time.
Terminator is back!
Hello everybody, this is Rob from Robofet's Bounty, and today we'll be looking at the 1997 Terminator 2 wave. So the first figure we've got here is the infamous T-1000. This one has a special feature, just like one of the Kenner aliens or the Scorpion figure. You press the back of him and it explodes. You get a little kind of gut piece in the middle, which is a bit peculiar. I think the Bishop done this as well, and all we do is quite difficult to put him back together. Just clip them all back in, and there is T-1000. Let's get him over the back. They made a few, I say, Robert Patrick figures. This one's like after he's, I assume, gone the liquid nitrogen because he's a strange colour of gold. Here's another, I think, cool figure. Next one's a bit strange. He's kind of been on the roids. He's a massive figure. This is supposed to look like the T-1000, but as you see his face, And his feature, you'll laugh. You flip him over, he is broken. Right, give me a second. Right, I'm back. So he has the butt cannons. So all you do is you put his head forward and he fires missiles out of his butt cheeks. T-1000. We have a glowing endo here. Glow in the dark. I think the endos are the best figures you can get. I've got the regeneration unit where you can make your own, but that is actually in the loft. I'll see if I can ping a trailer right now.
Now create your own Terminator with the BioFlesh Regenerator.
I'm back! Yeah? Think again. Battle damage.
Add flesh compound.
Terminator created.
Terminator.
I'm back!
Right, we've got this strange dude from Future Wars. They're supposed to go in his head there. Let's get that up. Got a claw feature. He's alright, I guess. Get him over there. We've got two Meltdown Terminators. You have a hot blast, this one here, and a meltdown. As you can see, the sculpts are the same. We've also got a nice feature where you can actually see the actual machine inside of his chest. So it's not just one solid piece of plastic. They're quite cool. And you've got his serial number on the side. I guess his maybe model number. And the last one I have at the moment is this dude. So we've got his bike there. Get him off. This Terminator is Secret Weapon Terminator. And I think what do you do here? Put his shoulder bar on the back? Nope. There we go. There's his face. And he fires at his shoulder pads. I'm not going to press the button because I'll probably knock my camera over. Seriously, I think this is the one that's not the best likeness, but it's the best looking one in the set, to be honest. Get him over there. Take a look at the bike. So we have a missile launcher just in the top. It's activated by the pedal. And it flies nowhere. Because you've got to, let's get it down. Put it down. Yeah. There's the bike. Pretty cool. And yet again, still another quite affordable line. There was many other figures like John Connor, a few more Future Wars robots. I'll see if I can get some images at the end. But yeah, that is a few of my Terminator figures. Enjoy the rest of the video, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Don't you be a dummy! Buckle your safety belt! Would you take a spin in this taxi? Sure! Whoa! The Incredible Crash Dummies are having a tailgate party? Whoops! I'll smash their fun! Gotta run! With the evil Junkman in hot pursuit, the dummies stop for a break. Break? Where's the brakes? There aren't any! Wow! The Incredible Crash Dummies! Good crash! New Crash Cab vehicles and figures all sold separately. Don't you be a dummy! Buckle your safety belt!
Hey YouTube land, Trycondrius here doing a collaboration video. Now this is something that I haven't really done before, so I hope I do this okay. I was Rob Wilson reached out to me on Facebook asking me if I would do a kind of a review-ish of toys that I collected growing up, of like between 80s to 90s toys, and I chose to do this. Hopefully I don't waffle on too much, and I'm trying to get as much information into it as I can. And what this is the Incredible Crash Dummies line by Tyco Toys. Now, there was two Crash Dummy lines. There's the original, which is these ones, which is the Tyco ones, and then there was a later release from Mattel when they bought, I think they bought out Tyco and they got the rights for the line. So they basically redid the line in 2004 with modern sculpting, modern playability, and modern kind of design aspects. But this is where it all started, and this is the two chaps here with Vince and Larry on the logo is where it all began. Now, well, I say it all began, it all began for the figures. It all began before this as part of a National Highway Safety Administration PSA during the late 80s. And with the popularity of these PSA videos, now if you're not familiar with PSA, PSA is personal safety advertisement. Basically similar to what G.I. Joe had at the end of their cartoons, where it was telling kids not to talk to strangers, don't pick up electrical wires, live electrical wires, all that kind of stuff. It was just like safety advice, and it was mainly to do with putting on your safety belt in cars to make kids aware of to wear your safety belt, or what could happen is the crash would, you know, they'd show what would happen with the crash dummies, and that is how it came about. So the figures were designed by David McDonald and Jim Byrne, and they initially had, I think it was 4 figures. They had, or sorry, not 4 figures. They had initial line of figures, which was Vince and Larry, which is the 2 chaps here, and for the other characters in that line is Skid the Kid here, Spare Tire, Daryl, Bumper the dog, Hubcat the cat, and then for exclusives they had 2, I think they had 2 exclusives. They had Axel, which was the driver for the Crash student dummy car. Now this is the later version of them. There was 2 versions. They were re-released again when they had to redo the line slightly. And then Dash was another figure that came packaged with a car. Now, there was other vehicles. I can't remember off the top of my head if they were initially with the Vince and Larry line, or if they only came along when they had to rebrand the line under the Incredible Crash Dummies, which ended up being the spokes dummies of the line was Slick and Spin, which is the purple suit dummy here in the back, and the white Franken suit dummy here. Fortunately, I don't have a complete version 1, version 1 of Slick. Mine has donor parts from a Dash, unfortunately. So, and this isn't one that I had from my childhood. The ones I've had from childhood is this guy, Slick, in his Protec suit. So in the Neon 90s, they redid the line yet again to add in more characters. So they introduced a couple of new characters during the 90s, but just before I get to that, the characters that were reissued as part of the Slick and Spin line were all the same characters: Skid the Kid, Spare Tire, Daryl. The only difference between the figures that I'm aware of is on the back of the Vince and Larry ones. If I bring Vince over, you can see it says, if I can get it to zoom in on them, it says Vince and Larry, the Crash Dummies. But if I grab Spin, hopefully his head won't pop off. They had to rebrand the line. I think they had a falling out with the National Highway Safety Authority, or they just couldn't use the character names anymore, so that they rebranded as the Incredible Crash Dummies. So that's a little bit beside the point. But they reissued the whole line, kind of literally the whole first wave of figures again, with the added exception of that branding and changing the 2 characters to Slick and Spin. I believe they added in the extra characters then, so you had the ATV, the Lawnmower, which I do have, which came with exclusive versions of the Crash Dummies, Whack and JR. There was also a, a ATV, which I don't have, unfortunately, and that came with another exclusive dummy, and I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. But the other things that were available was this set here. It was like, literally it's a torture chair, but it's the crash and bash chair. So basically you'd strap a dummy down, you'd smack them with the various implements, or you could TV, which I don't have, unfortunately, and that came with another exclusive dummy, and I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. But the other things that were available was this set here. It was like, literally it's a torture chair, but it's the crash and bash chair. So basically you'd strap a dummy down, you'd smack them with the various implements, or you could clip another dummy to this arm and hit him against another dummy. The Crash Test Center, which is on there, which is what they're standing on. Now this is the Incredible Crash Dummies version. The Vince and Larry version was exactly the same. The only difference was, again, stickers and logos. The black bike and the red bike, which I don't have, were the first 2 bikes. This version of the red car, which is a darker red than the later 90s release, it had a bit more neon to it, but this is the first one. And then you had a blue version of the Crash Dummy student car. Now this again is the later release version. This is the when they changed the logo. If I bring over the branding, you can see it says the Incredible Crash Dummies, whereas the original one here has the Vince and Larry Crash Dummy logo. And the Vince and Larry one, as I said, came with exclusive dummy, which is Dash, and the blue one Came with Axel, which was the exclusive dummy for this one. In fact, if I just bring up Dash, you can see this is the one that actually came with that version of the car, and you can see he has the Vincent Larry logo on his back as opposed to the incredible crash dummies. Now, there's quite a lot to get through. I'm trying to keep this video short because there is quite a lot in the crash dummy line. So just a brief glimpse at all the cars here. The later ones are the black, the taxi cab, as I said, the orange or the light red one. Now, if you're wondering why this one looks so absolutely destroyed, this is one that I've had since my childhood. It's actually my buddy's one. I had the original. We both got a car. He went for the red one. I went for the crash cab. That's not my original crash cab, by the way. But the original red one has had a lot of smashes, crashes and bashes, as you would say. So you can see about 30 years worth of almost 30 years worth of crashing and bashing on this thing. The other car over here, which has Crash Team Racing, which I'll get into briefly, I said I'm trying to keep this short but sweet, is the very rarest of the crash dummy cars. In fact, I don't have its box here. I do have a box for the crash dummy line, the racing line, which is the very last stuff they did for this, which was between the line lasted between 1990 to 1994, and this was the very last stuff that they did. The Jackknife Racer. They also had the Black Racer in the background, which was it named on this one? It's not on this one. So they had the off-road racer, the race car, stock car, which is what the blue one is, the crash plane, which is the most incredible, hardest thing to get. Just as an example, if I just move some stuff, you can probably hear things falling and crashing. This is literally what I have of it. I don't have the complete thing. It's missing a wing. It's broken at the front here. I got this as part of a lot with other crash dummy things, but this is one of the hardest things to find complete for the crash dummy line, for the original 90s line. Other things that are really hard to complete are the figures from the crash dummy racing team. Alright, yeah, they actually have the other Jackknife Racer on this, and it's also called Jackknife Racer, the black one. But they did some figures later on the line. So the basic premise with these figures, with the double buttons, is that when you press them, their limbs and heads pop off. They had issues with them. I can imagine there was a lot of people bringing back broken ones, because they do tend to break quite a bit. But unfortunately, I won't get into that right now because it takes a while. Sorry if this is going all haywire trying to focus. So they did a couple of versions of the main characters. So this is the racing version of Spin, and the one back here is the Protect Suit version 2. Protect Suit version 1s are really easy to kind of come by. Version 2s are a little bit harder. Racing ones are incredibly hard to come by. I also have the racing versions of Chip and Dent. Protect Suit version 2 of Dash, who is actually hard to come by. The Protect Suit version of Axel. They also did a promo with a video cassette, a VHS, if people remember those, with this guy called Ted. And he was the main character for that, and it was basically an introduction for crash dummies and the junk bots, which were basically the bad guys. I do have the bad guys. I don't have them up here. As I said, I couldn't fit everything into this little review station, because I'm also missing the standard plane, which is the blue neon one, Bull's truck, the junk playset, which I actually don't have. I don't have any of the junk man kind of vehicles, but there is a bunch of vehicles that I am missing. So other things, I'm missing the Protect Suit version 1 of Dent, who has the extending legs. One of the other things I have, which is this dump truck thing, which was introduced in the 90s. It was a new vehicle for then. And overall, it was a fantastic line. I didn't actually start off with most of these. I picked these up as an adult collector, so that's why some of them are in very good condition. Some of them look a bit rough, as in case here. Slick here is my original Slick from when I was a kid. So was Axel. Some of them I had to modify their limbs so they wouldn't pop off all the time, because they had issues where if you press the buttons on them, or sorry, even if you didn't press the buttons on them, the limb would just spring off, or a piece would break and they would just no longer clip back into place. So, but overall, the line was fantastic. It didn't last very long. As I said, there is some rare stuff out there. One of the rarest ones, and I've only seen people talking about the prototype of it, is Darlene. And Darlene is a repaint of this chap, aka Daryl, who does this head spring action. He was repainted as a female crash dummy. It was the only crash dummy that was planned. It was part of the Protect suit version 2s, so the suit would have been a bit more neon color. There is version 2 of Daryl and Spare Tire, which I don't have as well. They have the normal Protect bright neon colors. Don't have those. But it is, apparently there's only prototypes made of it, and it is very rare. So hope you enjoyed this brief, hopefully brief. Hopefully Rob may have to condense this down or re-edit it for you. But hopefully you enjoyed this brief look at some of the crash dummy videos, or sorry, crash dummy figures. I do crash dummy videos on my own channel. Hopefully Rob will put a link to it in the description for his one. And I have done a few reviews. I still do reviews for some of this stuff, so just keep an eye to the channel when I pop it up. I'm not the most consistent with getting the videos out in one go, but I do try to get them done. So cheers guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick brief, well, it's gone on a little longer than expected, this quick look at the crash dummy Tyco line. Cheers guys.
Robert Fitz Bounty signing off. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. See you real soon.